The film begins in space, where the wreckage of the USCSS Nostromo drifts silently. A probe from the Weyland-Yutani Corporation detects and retrieves a sample from the remains of the ship. A team of researchers then recovers the remains of the xenomorph and takes them back for further study. Meanwhile, on the Jackson Star mining colony, Rain Carradine, an orphan, works alongside her synthetic companion, a malfunctioning android named Andy, whom she refers to as her brother. Rain tries to get out of her mining contract, only to be told that it has been extended by another 6 years. She watches helplessly as a group of delinquent kids attack Andy, forcing her to repair him afterward. Shortly after, Rain receives a video message from her ex-boyfriend, Tyler, urging her to bring Andy for a secret mission. Rain and Andy arrive at Tyler's base, where they meet the rest of his crew, his sister Kay, their cousin Bjorn, and the crew's pilot, Navarro, who is also Bjorn's girlfriend. The group's plan is to infiltrate an abandoned Weyland-Yutani ship and steal cryostasis pods that would allow them to safely travel to the planet Ivaga, a 9-year journey. They specifically need Andy because his design, created by Weyland-Yutani, will grant them access to the ship's terminal. Rain is reluctant to join the mission, fearing the potential consequences and worrying about Andy being used for something dangerous. However, Tyler persuades her to go along with them. The 6 of them board a mining craft called the Corbelan and fly over Jackson Star, getting as close as possible to the sun before reaching their destination, the derelict station, which is split into 2 sections, Romulus and Remus. Tyler, Andy, and Bjorn head off to locate the cryostasis pods, while Rain stays behind to take care of Kay, who is suffering from nausea. Rain quickly realizes that Kay is pregnant but agrees to keep it a secret, as Kay doesn't want Tyler to know. During their search for the pods, Bjorn exhibits hostility towards Andy. Navarro later explains to Rain that Bjorn's anger stems from the death of his mother, who perished in a mining collapse. A synthetic had chosen to sacrifice her and 2 others to save a dozen other miners, leaving Bjorn bitter toward all androids. When Tyler, Bjorn, and Andy reach the pods, they discover there are only 5 available, as Andy was never meant to accompany them to Ivaga due to the corporation's regulations against synthetics. Furthermore, they find that there is only enough fuel to last 3 years in cryostasis, far short of the time needed for their journey. As they continue searching, the group stumbles upon a lab where Andy prevents Bjorn from falling into a massive hole. They also discover the top half of another synthetic. As they proceed, they find themselves trapped in a room when the ship suddenly goes into lockdown. Meanwhile, a nearby wall full of frozen facehuggers begins to thaw. Rain and Navarro, leaving Kay to rest, set out to assist the others. Along the way, they encounter the damaged synthetic, which briefly comes back to life before Rain removes its module, planning to use it to replace Andy's faulty one. Tyler installs the new module, allowing Andy to reboot. Meanwhile, the thawed facehuggers start springing to life, one nearly attaching itself to Bjorn. Rain works to break the door open as Andy fully reboots and quickly steps in to stop a facehugger from latching onto Tyler. The group manages to escape the room, but the facehuggers crawl after them with alarming speed. The crew successfully seals the door behind them, but not before Navarro is attacked. One of the creatures latches onto her face. As the crew works to remove the facehugger from Navarro, Andy reboots, becoming more focused and loyal to Weyland-Yutani. To help Navarro, the crew revives the dead synthetic, Rook, who informs them that they are essentially doomed, as they are about to encounter a xenomorph. Rook reveals the corpse of the xenomorph that attacked the Nostromo and was ejected by Ripley. He explains how the researchers on the Romulus were killed when they discovered it was still alive until they finally shot it, though its acid blood destroyed the remains of the ship. Rain suggests freezing the facehugger's tail to remove it from Navarro. This works, and Navarro wakes up, but Rook warns that she is still in danger due to what's coming next. Bjorn and Navarro attempt to flee to the Corbelan, but Navarro starts feeling sick. She uses an X-ray flashlight, which reveals that a chestburster is growing inside her, something Kay witnesses too. Navarro collapses, foaming at the mouth, before the chestburster violently emerges, killing her in front of a horrified Kay. During Navarro's death throes, she kicks a lever, causing the Corbelan to crash into the Romulus's hangar bay, sending the ship hurtling toward the Jackson Star asteroid belt with less than an hour before impact. Meanwhile, Rain and Tyler head to the hangar as Rook talks to Andy about their mission as Wei-Yu synthetics. Andy eventually rejoins them, and they attempt to increase the station's temperature to make themselves harder to detect by the Xenomorphs. Upon entering the hangar, they discover the bodies of the Romulus crew. While this happens, Kay and Bjorn try to find an escape route. They encounter the Xenomorph that emerged from Navarro. Bjorn attempts to electrocute it with a cattle prod, but its acid blood starts leaking onto him, burning him alive. He dies slowly as the acid eats through his chest. Kay contacts Tyler while the Xenomorph pursues her. She manages to reach the others outside the hangar, but Andy realizes that the Xenomorph is trying to trick them into opening the door, intending to kill them all. He refuses to help Kay. In the argument that follows, Rain accidentally reveals that Kay is pregnant, alerting Tyler. The Xenomorph seizes Kay and drags her away. Enraged, Rain slaps Andy, but her anger quickly turns to regret. Andy, now focused on his mission for Wei Yu, leads Rain and Tyler into the lab, where they discover a human-alien DNA mixture that Rook calls the Prometheus strain. They watch a video showing a rat that was healed by the mixture, which had initially improved its health. Andy gives Rain and Tyler M41 pulse rifles to defend themselves against the Xenomorphs, but they fail to notice the rest of the video, which reveals something monstrous growing from the rat. The test ends with the rat dead, transformed into a horrifying rat-Xenomorph hybrid. As the three make their way through a corridor, they find Kay trapped in a Xenomorph cocoon, unconscious but still alive. Tyler almost injects her with the DNA sample in a desperate attempt to heal her, but Rain stops him. Together, they help Kay to her feet, trying to get her back to the ship. Suddenly, the Xenomorph attacks, impaling Tyler with its tail and killing him by driving its second mouth through his face. Rain helps Kay reach safety, encouraging her to get to the ship while she goes back for Andy. Once Rain is gone, Kay injects herself with the DNA sample. Rain finds Andy and removes his module to restore him to his old self. However, Rook informs them that their escape efforts are futile. Just as they begin to lose hope, Rain comes up with a plan to shut off the ship's gravity, as a swarm of Xenomorphs approaches. With gravity disabled, the Xenomorphs begin floating, and Rain fires her rifle at them, killing the creatures but causing their acid blood to spread dangerously. As Rain nearly drifts into the acid, she manages to push herself away using the rifle's recoil and gets to safety. Rain and Andy board the elevator just as gravity returns, causing Rain to fall. The main Xenomorph catches her with its tail, but Andy arrives, kills the creature with Tyler's rifle, delivering the famous, "Get away from her, you bitch," line, and rescues Rain. Rain and Andy return to the Corbelan with Kay just as the Romulus descends into the asteroid belt. Rook makes one last attempt to convince Andy to follow Wei Yu's objective of returning with the sample, but Andy ignores him, and Rook is destroyed along with the rest of the station. Rain places Kay in a cryopod as they head toward Ivaga. However, Kay's vitals weaken due to the DNA mixture affecting her pregnancy. Her stomach grows rapidly, and she endures a painful birth. Rain helps her as she gives birth to an egg-like pod containing a human Xenomorph hybrid. Rain removes the egg, but its acid causes it to slip through the grates. When Rain returns after trying to arm herself for help, the child has fully developed into a being resembling the engineers, feeding on Kay's chest and killing her. The creature also severely damages Andy. As the ship's temperature drops rapidly, Rain dons a spacesuit and attempts to separate the cargo pod from the ship, as the damage from the creature's birth is pulling the ship toward the asteroid belt. Rain begins pulling the levers to detach the pod, but the hybrid offspring attacks her. They both tumble outside the ship, clinging on for survival. Rain uses her harness to pull the final lever, sending the cargo pod and the hybrid into the asteroid belt, where they are obliterated. Rain places the damaged Andy into one of the cryopods. Before entering stasis herself, she records a final log, uncertain of what awaits them on Ivaga but optimistic that she can handle whatever lies ahead.